everyone, I hope you're all doing great. I just wanted to share this video with you. It was basically of an event that I took part in, part of the Babylon Trust, and they asked me to sort of give a speech and have a stall where people can see my work and, you know, maybe have a makeover. And the speech basically tells the story of how I started as a makeup artist, what I've done, and basically how you also can become a makeup artist or entrepreneur yourself. So keep watching and let me know what you guys think.
Hello, thank you for waiting patiently this long, and I hope that you get to understand exactly what I've got to offer, because it's not just about me trying to lecture you about what I've achieved, but also about how maybe you can utilise my experience and maybe start something of your own. Basically, I'll just give you a brief introduction about how I started off. I'm a makeup artist now, but I originally studied cognitive science, so I went to school, like many of you. I went to university, I did a cognitive science degree. I came out thinking, okay, what do I do now? There were no jobs related to my profession, and so I started looking around for just random things here and there, and I started working at Barclays Bank. Having the job at Barclays Bank was fine, but it wasn't enough for me. I wanted something more. It was just, counter job. I was just working as a cashier, and it was just day in, day out, quite boring. So what I wanted to do is possibly start something of my own, but I always had the intention to start something, but never really knew exactly what it was, apart from the fact that I was also working as a makeup artist part-time as well. So I worked as a makeup artist on cosmetic counters, and I offered makeovers to lots of clients that used to come in and want their own makeup done to try different products out. And then basically what had happened is that although I had all that experience with makeup, I wanted to do something, professional, just to please my parents, obviously, because obviously being a makeup artist in the eyes of our parents maybe doesn't necessarily sit that well. So I worked as an estate agent for a while, and I did that full time. Until the management changed and they actually said, sorry, we're going to have to let you go because we've got different people coming on board. So I was basically jobless and I didn't have anything to go on with. So what I did with that, I just thought, right, I've got to make this a positive thing, and what I started up was my own website, which is Bridal Memory, my own creation. So I used a templates website and I put in exactly what I want into a one-on-one. This is a website builder where you can actually create your own website. So if you've got anything that maybe you think you want to get out there and you want to start something of your own, although we have a brother that just spoke earlier about creating a website, if you maybe don't have the finances of starting your own website, there are sort of template websites which you can buy the hosting name and you can start something yourself and design it yourself. But later on, after I got more clients, after putting my work out there, and after having a lot of feedback from clients telling me that your work is really good, we don't see you advertise in magazines. I didn't advertise because it was quite costly, so any money that I would make was obviously a bit of pocket money, but also went into buying cosmetics and makeup to supply my kit so that my work can improve and be better. But having had lots of years experience within the makeup industry, obviously as you can see from the images, lots of the work that I did end up being published because I was doing a lot of freelance work and working with photographers and other models who would work for free just to kind of supply their own portfolio. So everybody would work for free just to get some images. And then with that, I had a lot more backbone in terms of my experience, a lot of the images that I had, and I was starting to focus on bridal clients and obviously doing weddings and things like that. And I started my own website under my own name, but this time I got a professional to do it, which obviously it does make a big difference. If you can afford to make a website, get a professional to do it for you, because you can be creative and you can tell them exactly what you want, and instead of having a template, you can actually create something very, very interesting. And I sort of created this whole sort of design in the sense that I set up the photo shoot with the models, with the photographer, and I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve as well. And I just wanted to sort of touch on the aspect of being Hijab, because when I started out, this was back in 2007, it was, I guess, it wasn't something that I had seen. I didn't see female makeup artists wearing hijab. It wasn't something that was, I guess, the norm. So for me, it was quite challenging because it was me stepping out as a hijab, putting myself out there, working with photographers and models who maybe haven't seen hijab makeup artists. So for me it was quite tricky, but I just thought, you know what, I've got a talent, I've got to showcase my work, and I've got to make people see past the hijab, and that it's not an obstacle, and if anything, you should use that to kind of motivate you and to say, well look, here I am, I'm a Muslim, I'm an Arab, you know, no stereotypes, I'm just doing exactly what other makeup artists are doing, and just sort of go with that. So you can see some of the work here. I've got sort of more creative, avant-garde type sort of pictures, but at the same time I was still doing my bridal clients. Pretty much the majority of my income was coming from bridal work. And anything that I had creative shoots, that was just fun for me to be creative and to kind of diversify my portfolio as well. Just the next slide. And obviously the perks of being a hijab is that sometimes other hijabas are going to see you, they're going to get inspired, and I was fortunate enough to get basically this ML magazine they contacted me and they said, we've heard that you're a makeup artist and we wanted to feature an article about you and exactly how you got started and you know what you're doing and what you hope to have for the future. So I was obviously fortunate enough to say, okay, yeah, great, let's do this. And they set up an interview and they did some sort of photographs for the actual article, which was, it's a national magazine, so a lot of girls who read the magazine themselves, you know, started to add me on Facebook, and then it started to grow and diversify in that way as well, in terms of the brand and in terms of being, again, a hijab. Just the next slide, thank you. Now, I've put here, don't change who you are, because initially I thought, okay, I'm going to need to kind of change who I am as a person, because maybe I need to fit in with the kind of environment that I'm putting myself into, which is fashion, beauty and these things, and you don't obviously see, I guess, back behind the scenes, muhajjabat working in this industry. So the reason I'm saying don't change who you are is because the sort of last month I had a celebrity client, and her name is Lauren Ridinger. And she's very well known in America, and she's friends, like her best friends are Kim Kardashian, Eva Longoria, Jennifer Lopez, and they contacted me. Her team basically found my website on Google, and they contacted me and said she'd like you to be her makeup artist when she comes to London to launch her own cosmetic range. And I was like, okay, this is good, but you know, I'm a muhajjab, but does she know this? I was thinking all of these things in my head, like what's she going to expect when she opens the door and sees me there standing with my hijab? But alhamdulillah, it was fine. She knew that I actually wore the hijab. She had seen my YouTube videos, because I've got also a YouTube channel, and she had actually checked me out as well. And that made her think of me any less, just because I was wearing a hijab. If anything, she thought, well, this person is creative, they're good at what they do, and I want to work with them. So the great is that even though I got to work with her, we've sort of built a relationship whereby, you know, me and my husband ended up having dinner with her and her husband, and Lennox Lewis was there as well. So it was kind of a bit out of this world, but it happened, and it was quite fun. I just wanted to briefly touch on sort of my achievements, and since having started 5 years ago, how far I've sort of come, or how far I've pushed myself. It's not just about makeup for me. It's more of trying to build a brand, and my brand at the moment I'm trying to build is Artist of Makeup, which is what I had as a tagline whenever I would put any kind of trademark or anything on my work. I would put Artist of Makeup, because I thought it was a good thing, not just makeup artist, actually an artist of makeup. And I have a training academy where I teach students sort of every other month who come in. I hire a studio, I teach them for 7 days how to do hair and makeup, and basically they go out on their own to basically do what, you know, I'm doing. And I'm also creating my own brand of cosmetics as well, again called Artist of Makeup cosmetic line. And it will start off with some palettes, some eyeshadows, and you can basically customize your own eyeshadow kit in terms of what kind of eyeshadows you want to buy, what foundations, and you could just have a whole palette of your own customizable makeup. Basically, I just wanted to sort of touch on how you can become an entrepreneur and what you can do to sort of maybe think about what skills you have and what you can offer. So what is your passion? Because that's what's going to drive you. If you have a passion for something, then if anything, if you just keep working at that, your passion for that thing will motivate you and keep you going. And the other thing was, look at what you're good at. So sometimes we don't necessarily know, where are we heading, where are we going, what are we doing. Look at your skills, look at what you're good at. And as Mariam said earlier, she said that people were saying, why don't you do this professionally? And she took that and she said, yeah, I'm going to do this professionally. And that's what you need to do. If you've got any skills, if you're good at photography, if you're good at anything else, if you're good at art, maybe anything else, try and think of a way that you could offer it as a service to people. So if you're good at design or anything else, think of a way that you can harness your skill and actually, make some money out of that, and then, create your own website or get somebody professionally to do your website for you, and then try and sell your skill. And then, again, if you have a good business idea, so you don't necessarily need to have a skill, maybe you've got good ideas, try and think of ways that you can create a product or something that would help simplify someone's life, just anything really. If you're creative enough, I'm sure you're able to think of something that would actually possibly in the future be the next, Dyson, Hoover, something like that, who knows. And lastly, you don't need a business degree to be successful. I believe that, I didn't study business. I had friends who did study business, but they went on to do maybe accounts or things like that. And I just think that if you naturally have that inside you, that feeling that, I don't want to be working for someone else, I want to work for myself, I want to be, in charge of my own future, my own destiny. Don't feel that your life determines who you are, but you determine where your life is heading. So just sort of take that on board and think, right, get up, and after this, hopefully you can get inspired. And if you have any questions, then I'm downstairs to take those questions, or even now, if we've got time to take some questions, then I'm happy to do so.
Finally, I'd just like to thank everyone for attending today, and in particular the young entrepreneurs who, obviously without them, this event wouldn't have been possible. And I don't know if Mr. Shavner wants to...
Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys think.
I'd just like to thank